Good morning, everyone. I would like to start with a last-minute lineup change. My colleague Juan, who was supposed to lead today, is here with us, but he will be on the sidelines due to a sore throat. So I'll be stepping in. We all wish him a speedy recovery, and of course, I won't be as charming as he is, but I'll give my best. Okay. So
thank you.
First,
I like to present the team, but between my Spanish accent and my sore throat, I think it will be very difficult. So my colleague is here, will do my part, and I will be here also answering in the Q&A. So it's not that I will go far. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with Niels Jansen, ISV Partner Development Manager at Microsoft Netherlands. So Niels, you want to start?
Yes, thanks, Ashay, and good morning. Thanks for joining. And let's start with the topic what brings us here today. You're probably interested to learn more about how you can build a new sales channel with the commercial marketplace on the Microsoft side. So let me start and explain a little bit about the why and what we see happening here. And one of the key takeaways from Canalys with earlier research is that we see the trend of customers centralizing their tech investment through cloud marketplaces. So some of the facts and figures you see here, but this is the ultimate way for us and you as a partner and the ISV, but also towards the customers to bring the ask and demand together in a cloud-driven world. I'm not going through all the facts and figures here within the growth expectations, but this is expected to become what they call the epicenter of co-selling and co-innovation. And the why about that one is because customers within a cloud-first world are asking for more easier centralized software procurement. They not always want to go through the traditional way of B2B software purchase cycles. So I always make the example where on a consumer point of view, we use the App Store on our phones to buy the applications we're looking for, and we want to get access to that directly. We don't want to go through different conversations first to get access to the software. But the beautiful part about the marketplace is that it brings together not only you, the ISV, with the customer, but you're also leveraging the relationship with Microsoft and the end customer. We will go through a couple of examples there later on. But the interesting part is that within this model, it's not only available for SaaS service. So in the comparison I made with a App Store on our mobile phone, which is SaaS services only, but you can combine your professional services with the IP you're selling in different transaction models based on a user pricing, VM-based cluster. There's a lot of flexibility there. And I'll keep it more high over and explain also how you can best collaborate with Microsoft sales teams. There is more complex work under the hood. And that's why I'm really happy that Ashay and Juan are joining us from WeTransact, our partner that can help you with the complexity here as well, and to make sure that you can focus on driving sales instead of managing the complexity of a marketplace listing and driving sales there. So before I dive in, let me quickly also introduce myself a bit more. So Niels Jansen, I'm a Partner Development Manager at Microsoft, and we help ISVs, companies that develop software based on our cloud technology, through different stages of their journey towards growth. So we make a split on build with, go to market, and sell with. So in the first place, we want to help you in building your solution enriched with Microsoft software and services. So I think the talk of the town at this moment where we get the most questions around is, of course, generative AI. So think about a migration from on-prem or hosted towards cloud, and then use the Microsoft services to make your solution even more intelligent and more scalable. That's where we can help you within the build with phase. Once you've built your solution, it is about publishing and thinking about go-to-market. So how can we help you accelerate your growth? Think about a vertical approach, think about geo expansion. And then it's also the handover there towards the sell with part, because I think where we try to differentiate most, and it works best when you are a B2B company having a sweet spot selling into corporate and enterprise customers, is that this is a segment where Microsoft is quite dominant. We have strong sales connections with corporate and enterprise customers across many different verticals and industries. And by embedding the marketplace and making the marketplace part of your sales engines, you will learn later on today that it becomes easier to collaborate, that you can drive deals faster because you also leverage the invoice relationship, which is already in place between Microsoft and the end customer. You see on the right side, from a customer point of view, we talk about enterprise and SMC. SMC is small, medium, corporate. And then those are the segments where we have dedicated account teams. From a technical point of view, we have cloud solution architects that can help with the earlier described modernization scenario. We have different programs and incentives to make it more attractive for you to run your business via the marketplace. And as you can see, the marketplace is there from the build with phase towards the sell with phase on the customer side. So marketplace, working together and start working together towards the Microsoft sellers. Co-sell is one of the most asked topics or one of the most asked questions in relation to marketplace. But how does it work and how can you achieve this? In total, worldwide, we have 35,000 sellers representing the corporate and enterprise space across these different verticals. And by embedding the marketplace at the right way, you can close bigger deals and faster. Also with the example I shared earlier with a private offer where you bundle your services and IP. It's the same way you're used to doing business now, but now giving the customer the possibility to purchase this via, for example, their Azure subscription. Because let me get back a little bit where I realized I dived in right away. When we talk about the commercial marketplace, we have different storefronts. So we have AppSource, which is more focused on the business solutions, thinking about Dynamics, M365, Power BI templates, and the Azure Marketplace, which is in general a more technical solution because there is also a purchase. The purchase goes via the Azure portal. But the benefit here, where we will dive deeper in about co-sell, is that you give the customer the possibility to use their Azure credits to purchase your software. That's regarding the comment to unlock the pre-committed cloud budget, which we will dive deeper in. Another one, so the 35,000 sellers worldwide, they cover 140 geos worldwide. So the marketplace is not only a sales play to land your business locally where you're headquartered. This will also help you make it easier land business in other geos in the other countries because it works the same way. So reach more customers, like I said, 140 geos, but also thinking about 400,000 Microsoft partners. And the partner-to-partner angle here to think about is that there might be already Microsoft partners walking around at your prospect, at your wish list, which potentially could become a reseller of your solution as well. So I always say there are like 3 angles to keep in mind when embedding and starting with the marketplace. The first one is build the sales relationship locally with the local team. The second angle is think about the same approach, but then within an expansion approach abroad. And the third one is a channel approach, because I think that is also a differentiator on the Microsoft side, that our partner ecosystem, where also we are together part of, is unique and covered all around the world and potentially, well, like I said, could potentially become a reseller of your software as well. This one we just covered, then negotiate the deals with private offer. So I think this is one of the misconceptions, and I'll repeat this one again. The marketplace does not only work for 100% SaaS solutions. It can be PaaS. It can have different type of transaction models. Can be VM-based, cluster-based for Kubernetes. It can be user-based, metered billing. And the best part is that you can include your services, because we realize that within B2B business, and especially towards corporate and enterprise, it's not only about software. It's also often about the related services of implementation, managed services, and the aftercare, which you can do in multi-year contracts. And let me dive deeper into the pre-committed cloud budgets. So we have quite some customers worldwide that have what we call MAC agreements, Microsoft Azure Commit to Consume contracts. And this means that the customer pre-commits a cloud spend to Microsoft and gets a certain discount on that commit. That commit is built based on a consumption plan. So we're making a plan together with the customers based on their Microsoft cloud spend. Think about making a prediction on the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS services. But now we're also extending that conversation to third-party software. And the best part is that once you qualify for this sales play, and I will explain later on what the criteria are to get there, is that the customer can decrement their commit to Microsoft with the purchase of your software. So this gives a whole new angle to software procurement. Think about a customer which is behind on his consumption plan because one of the projects is postponed. They realize the saving with a bigger modernization project. This leaves and gives you a new budget to tap into on the customer side, and this also drives an incentive for the account team on the Microsoft side. How to get started and how to get there. It starts with ISV Success, which is a benefit program which we specifically created for ISVs. And this program, you will get all the help and support you need to modernize and build the solution towards the marketplace. And our marketplace rewards program is embedded here as well. And this means that the moment you start doing business via the marketplace, you will unlock marketplace rewards and get these benefits. It's a program which is free for the first 12 months. If you publish a transactable offer in the first 12 months of the program, you will get a renewal offer for the benefits inside the program. You can register if you're not at microsoft.com/ISV. Quickly scroll here so I can show you a little bit more what's inside. Some Azure credits, a standard support plan. I think the most interesting, where many ISVs are really interested in, are also the free Visual Studio licenses, 25 seats, and GitHub. And you can also use your Azure credits to use, for example, GitHub Copilot. As you can see on the right side, there are also one-on-one sessions which you can use for optimization of your solution. Once your solution is published, you start thinking about building your plan on how to land your first deals. And landing your first deals also means enabling marketplace rewards. As you can see, at the moment you reach the first 100K milestone, you can do a 2-seller webinar, which means that we can position your solution to a specific vertical and industry team on the Microsoft side, and you get a solution spotlight in one of the internal newsletters. And you see, the more business you're doing via the marketplace, the more benefits you will unlock. This will also include Azure credits, which you can use for customers that have an enterprise agreement. And then you can use these Azure credits to fund the cloud-related costs of your solution. Because often you see for the ISVs and the group that we have here together, that your solution is partly based on Microsoft Cloud Services. So selling this to a customer also includes Microsoft Cloud Services. And with these Azure credits, you can fund the cloud component cost of your solution, and you can also position this as within a benefit of the partnership that you have with Microsoft. Because I started earlier about co-selling, and I want to dive deeper into this into that topic. When it is about co-selling, Microsoft sellers and account teams have an incentive, and the incentive. Let me see why the rest of the. Yes, there it is. So your goal is to come to the first 100K of marketplace build sales or 100K Azure consumption based on your cloud bill towards Microsoft, which will unlock you, which will give you the status called IP co-sell eligible, which means the MAC, the scenario I just described with the pre-committed customers, they can decrement that from their commit to consume. If you sell your solution towards one of these customers, as you can see with the IP coastal status, this means that the account team retires their Azure quota on a customer. So let's take the example of that you are doing a deal of 100K with the corporate enterprise customer with this type of agreement. Besides the benefit of the full deal size, which is recognized as marketplace build sales for the team, they can retire 30K of the Azure quota they need to drive at that customer, which is a win-win-win in this case. And this is the moment where it becomes really interesting for all parties to work more closer together. Top tier status, I will quickly share some links about it later on, but that enables and opens up from 4 million marketplace. So that's quite a ambitious plan, but at that moment, you also have the possibility to report the related ACR, and then they get like the full decrement of that quota. But let's focus not too much on the internal benefits. It's about the benefits and the added value for the customer, but this creates a flywheel effect because it's an extra incentive. So how to unlock? So it starts with building, get the support from within ISV success, publish, make sure then that you qualify for IP codes already. So that's what I call build the plan towards the first 100K, and then earn incentives, earn additional rewards, and make the marketplace a go first sales engine for your Microsoft solution in the collaboration there. Then there's also often questions about lead sharing, leads, referrals, and how does this work? And I wanted to share the example of what we say, what makes a good opportunity versus what makes a good lead versus a great lead. A good lead, as shared earlier, the solution is built on Azure. It's IP codes already, so there's an incentive for all parties involved. It's Mac eligible, so we can position this solution together to customers with an underspend on their commit to consume. Band is what we call for budget. Make sure that we know when we work on this, that there is budget in place, that we are sitting with the right stakeholders as the authority. The need is clear. What business challenge are we solving? And do we have clear timelines? And ideally, you also have a customer reference for the solution. A great lead, where this can bring you the acceleration, is that it's a marketplace first proposition. You have industry references, but also it's a better together. So maybe there is a storyline where your solution is an accelerator to drive Copilot adoption or sell generative AI into the customer. Think about how your solution is an enabler and how it extends towards the Microsoft solution stack as well. Because in the end, Microsoft account teams are responsible for selling Microsoft cloud technology into their accounts and not per se the ISV solutions. But if this is a better together, you will see automatically that it will be easier to collaborate there. One of the other benefits you can get in here is that at the moment you start working together, our account teams are organized from an industry point of view. So that means that an account executive is often covering multiple organizations within the same industry. And if you have an industry solution which is of added value of a customer in finance, this also opens up the possibility to work together towards account planning and think about how you can sell into other accounts there as well. Within ISV success, you can also do like a propensity check. So you can share your leads towards the ISV success team, and then they will give you propensity data insight on, hey, which customers I can target with the example of like the Mac sales play where they can decrement it, or you can get like a bit of better insights on where to collaborate best. You can see also, by the way, in Partner Center, if it's a managed account or not. So does this customer have an account team on the Microsoft side? Last but not least, to summarize, make sure your offer is published as a transactable offer. Make sure that you approach this with a private offer in mind, and make sure that you go to market with the flexibility that the marketplace provides. So if you have a SaaS solution, yes, it's nice to have it like fully automated, but you can also have your solution listed for the example of $1 per year per month. And then at the moment the customer clicks on get it now, it will give you the opportunity to create a private offer afterwards. So it doesn't have to be a fully automated sales process moving forward. Just go for a transact offer and you can fine tune it later on. Build your plan towards the first 100K because of the coastal status I just shared, but also because of the incentive you will earn. You will get a 20K cash incentive after the first 100K of marketplace build sales, and you become more interesting for the collaboration on the sales side with the account teams. Last but not least, think about scaling your business with the other sales scenarios on the Microsoft side. Geo expansion, partner to partner, but also the core focus for account teams at this moment is selling Copilot into the customer accounts. If you can find an angle where there is a better together, and then you can think about building your own AI assistant with Azure OpenAI Studio, or build a Copilot extension with Copilot Studio, where your solution becomes an enabler for Copilot, this can help you differentiate and this can help you connect even faster with the different teams. With that being said, thanks. I'll now hand it over to Laurent, who will share a bit more about his journey and experience.
Thank you, and good morning all. So let me go to the next slide. So I am Laurent van Turnhout, the co-founder and CEO of Wellbeing.ai. We are a SaaS solution and we act on a global scale, and I liked the introduction of Microsoft in terms of reach. I will come to that. So first, a little introduction on Wellbeing.ai. Wellbeing.ai had been created in 2021, and we use neuroscience and artificial intelligence to render a well-being score. It's the first patented analytics platform to render a well-being score for employees at work. We use eye tracking and facial analytics. So it's a patented analytics solution where, while you naturally work, the camera captures your eye movement patterns and your facial micro expressions to render you, after a session of, for instance, 20 to 30 minutes, 4 key well-being indicators on your anxiety, your burnout or mental fatigue, your engagement towards that specific task, for instance, enjoyment, and together the well-being score. So as said, we use neuroscience and artificial intelligence, and the AI algorithm had been trained on more than 40,000 subjects, and it was scientifically validated by the Cognitive Neuroscience Lab of the University of Liège. So just imagine you are an employee and you tracked your well-being across the month of, say, August, and you saw a pattern. And in this dashboard, in the upper section, you see a thick turquoise line. This thick turquoise line is your well-being score, and then you see dotted lines. For instance, the mental fatigue or burnout line is a dotted line. Then your anxiety is the red dotted line, and then engagement and enjoyment, yellow and green. Together they form the well-being line. So in this case, this employee, in this case Sarah, had a declining well-being score, and she wants to do a self-analysis, and she can filter by burnout, see on which task the mental fatigue was increasing, and also one click away, she can get in touch with an external expert, an external counselor, in an instant video call or instant messaging or instant voice call, in this case instant video call, to get an external counselor to help her to get her well-being metrics back on track. So this is a unique combination of neuroscience and AI, and then the human expert helping you to get your well-being back on track. This holistic solution, as a result, we avoid long sick leave, we increase productivity, and a well-being increase by 4% results in a 1% profit increase. So, and we also like to address big enterprises, because the bigger the company, the bigger the problem we can solve, right? So with that, the link to why Microsoft Marketplace, very easy. Actually, 5 reasons. So we have 4 listings with Wellbeing.ai on the Microsoft Azure Marketplace to market our SaaS business model. It's a monthly fee per employee, but actually 5 reasons. First of all, the ease of go-to-market. We are a marketplace first offer, right? So we indeed moved from a good lead to, through this mechanism, great leads, a marketplace first go-to-market scenario. All our growth hacking is attracting traffic towards the link in the Azure Marketplace to one click away, acquire our solution. Number 2, the reach. So you can have a global reach and really act as a hyperscaler. And we are a software startup, right? And we can really leverage this platform to act as a hyperscaler on a global scale. Number 3, the ease of procuring the software, right? It's literally one click away for any IT manager or IT procurement manager globally. Number 4, the ease of billing. So I don't need billing operations within my ISV startup context. All the billing and all the tax management is done through the Azure Marketplace. Number 5, the collection of my SaaS revenues, also done automatically. I don't have billing and collection operations and money collection risks or delays, right? It's important as a software startup. So let me tell you a little bit on the flexibility as well. So indeed, we have different listings, among them private offers and trials and professional services. And also, as discussed and illustrated by Niels, we have resellers in other territories. So we have resellers in Japan, Saudi Arabia, and the US, and this reseller mechanism is also valid and allows for a lot of flexibility through the Azure Marketplace. Then teaming up with the account teams of Microsoft is really a key point in closing deals and landing deals, especially targeting those who are Mac eligible. This is really leveraging the flywheel effect, teaming up with the go-to-market, teaming up with the Microsoft account teams. WeTransact was able to get us published on the Azure Marketplace very quickly. Within a week, we were published with 4 listings. And in the month of May, we reached IP co-sell status with all the goodies that Microsoft provides then, right? I will not go through the goodies. That was the previous presentation, but yes, this was the accelerator effect we could leverage. So thank you very much. This was Wellbeing.ai accelerated by WeTransact, and we can act as a hyperscaler through the Microsoft Azure Marketplace. Handing over to Azure from WeTransact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laurent. Hello again, everyone. My name is Asier Campos. I'm the head of partnerships at WeTransact. As I said before, Juan has thrown me under the bus for this webinar, that I'm really happy to be here. Second webinar edition with Niels and Microsoft Netherlands, and this one with our super customer, Wellbeing.ai. Thank you both. And let's just start. Last year, we started the presentation by showing some big numbers coming from the president of the marketplace, Charlotte Giarconi. But this year, we would like to share the last report that says marketplace is becoming unavoidable. At 2028, it will reach $85 billion in sales over this channel, and half of that revenue will come from channel partners, also known as resellers. Because at the end of the day, if there is one thing we should take home, is that the Microsoft Marketplace is all about building partnerships. A quick summary why Marketplace becomes disruptive is you make money because it facilitates enterprise companies to buy your solution using their committed budget to Microsoft, or you can also expand through a pre-existing network of DSPs and resellers, having Microsoft always as the mediator. It saves costs because we don't need to invoice, we don't need to collect payments, and we also forget about tax collection and exchange rates. That's on Microsoft. And on top of that, we reduce risks because we leverage Microsoft trust and comply with local regulations. Microsoft only takes 3% first year and 1.5% on renewals for all of this. But if this is so good, if everything is easy and makes so much sense, then why not there already? So here you have the answer. Yes, it used to be really difficult. The main reason can be divided in two challenges. One, on the technical side, companies try first by themselves. They engage their engineering teams, but rapidly they end up between two tools, Partner Center on one side and a custom-built marketplace integration. They involve sellers, engineers, and finance to close one single deal properly. And on the other side, you need to learn about Microsoft ecosystem, understand how to work with Microsoft employees, and know which partners will pay attention to you now. Typically, when you go this route, you will invest a ton of time or put a lot of money. Okay. Another way to see this is this one. When you build the connection to Microsoft Marketplace yourself, you need to worry about the landing page, Entra integrations, webhook, metering API, and also fulfillment API. Basically, your own custom-built marketplace integration. On the other side, the business problem arises because you have many personas trying to deal with the Partner Center. This Partner Center is connected to your marketplace integration. Look into all these personas with their agenda, sales to sell, legal to comply, and finance to reconcile. Here is where the problem starts. At the very beginning, in this scenario, if you are a startup, you can manage it. But when you grow, it will be more complex. Then you do one transaction on the marketplace and something goes wrong. So you have all your team looking to the Rubik's Cube you build and the super engineered process that will only make your CEO cry. This is based on a real story. Okay. So usually being on the marketplace can be months of tech development. But with WeTransact, we only need 2.5 hours of your time and no tech team needed. Once you are on the marketplace, you can focus on selling and go to market, first of all, through the web. Second, through Microsoft cross-sell engine of more than 16,000 sellers. And third, through resellers via direct private offer or multi-party private offer. So let me share the first scenario, that is the enterprise seller. For example, Hive Streaming was willing to sell this software to a very known customer in Japan. The customer was pushing back for months. They were saying solution is too expensive, there's no budget, etc. And Hive, discussing with the Japanese customer, realized that they had a match, which means, as Neil said, a spend commitment to Microsoft. Hive came with WeTransact, offered to procure their solution on the marketplace using their map, and they agreed on a six-figure deal that was expedited in days. The way we facilitate this type of sales is by bringing you the customer's intent and commitment in front of you, so you can target those with a high propensity to buy. Let's move to the second scenario, the story of a partnership builder. Solgari is the company in this example, wanted to sell their software worldwide. They decided to go via reseller channel, but hunting reseller after reseller became very tedious. It was not scalable at all. Then marketplace came into play for them. They started with distributors like Pax8 or TCNet, and they rapidly established presence, reaching more than 50,000 resellers and becoming one of the biggest players in the reseller channel and in the marketplace in general. Today, Solgari closes millions in deals and increased their marketplace sales by more than 300%, and all of this in just 4 months. We want you to build this reseller network seamlessly, programmatically. For that, we bring you partners ready to partner with you and part of Microsoft ecosystem. So you profile partners in minutes and not in months, okay? You will match with those that have the opportunities now and speak with the connections with a business in mind before even teaching about your product. This means that business always comes first for us. I want to give you an example. This is an old example, but I love it. After finding at WeTransact, after finding our ideal reseller, I invited them to connect to this platform that we have, so I can discover their customers and help my reseller as well on day one. So I profile companies 1, 2, 6, and 10, which are good candidates to buy WeTransact. And I just called the reseller and said, hey, I see 4 customers you have who could buy my solution now. What about giving you a 20% of the deal if you introduce me to them? And what about if we make this recurrent revenue year over year? Did I talk about my product yet? No, I talk about business first. Product will follow after. And this time, in this example, partner reseller X chased about knowing very well my product to sell through an existing trust relationship. So now we have everything clear. We know how to sell, who to sell on the marketplace and where to sell. But how do I sell on the marketplace? Do I need a private offer, a public offer, a private plan, a multi-party private offer? What the hell is that? We have some good free playbooks in our website. You can download them. This is one about the private offers. We have another one about the understanding the marketplace billing and financials. This is more focused to your CFO, so that he can understand the invoice logic, the payout times, etc. The newest one is about Microsoft Partner Programs. This is because great customers were asking us about software designations in Partner Center. Here you also have ISV Success Program and Founders Hub. And my favorite is about the Microsoft incentives. Last year, almost all our customers made between 20 and 120K bank cash transfer just with the incentives. It's cool, isn't it? So we then got one of my colleagues, Javier, to become incentive manager, and we also have a dedicated webinar about these incentives. I can send it to you if you want. So that's pretty it. This is who we are. In short, WeTransact is a SaaS platform for enterprise sellers and partnership builders. With WeTransact, we can master Microsoft partnership and the marketplace power. And remember that the marketplace is all about partnerships. So get them started today. Okay. Thank you very much. This is the presentation we have on WeTransact. You can contact us through LinkedIn or through this email. You can also scan the QR code. And Any questions? I think you have the Q&A available. I don't know if there's any question.
Yeah, I think there's one specific question, and I think that one is for you, Laurent, on how you specifically reached out to the reseller. So in the example about establishing a reseller ecosystem, and then what was the reason for them to cooperate with you, and how have you chosen your resellers?
Good question. Thank you very much. So actually, there is a mix of obviously the normal go-to-market, but then when you during literally an exhibition, a live interaction where you have established a partnership and a contract with your resellers, in that case with the Japanese reseller, is focusing on the business and the transactions and doesn't want to create a whole hassle about having a Belgian startup selling through a Japanese reseller with a tax regime of Japan, then reaching an end user. It's just that end user, an enterprise company, wants to be facilitated with one click away, have the right listing and get onboarded for this many employees and get started with the SaaS model. So that was an example of kind of a hybrid model where we have a live interaction and a typical distribution channel lead generation. And then that lead generation, once everything was clear, the transactions were facilitated by the Azure Marketplace in that scenario.
Okay.
And I think that is also something where WeTransact, but also the local Microsoft teams can help you. So this is something from a reseller point of view, like 99% of our reseller ecosystem, and then I'm mostly talking about our CSP and services partners, are managed via our indirect providers, the distributors, which is where WeTransact is also accelerating the collaboration, because in general, I mean, they're mostly servicing the small, medium corporate market. So like really into enterprise selling, it makes sense to connect with the accounting and find out like, hey, we are open to collaborate with other partners. So if there are other partners already working on this from, for example, let's take a topic around cybersecurity, that there might some partners be already working on this specific topic from a Microsoft point of view at this enterprise customer. And then if you can share that you are open to collaborate, have a transactable solution, which can also be resold, that we have a resale possibility for this reseller to work with. And then because that is what's in it for me, for the reseller, is it because it gives them an additional additional profit on the project, because they can earn more money by selling more services and IP into the customer. And it also can help them differentiate, because it can be that they are doing Microsoft security and on a workplace integration. But if you can extend that with third-party software IP, that can also helps the reseller differentiate to other services partners around there. So I think that is also an angle that you can approach the reseller angle.
Yes, and just to add something, at WeTransact, we have some strategies to put you in contact with resellers based on AI tools. And we put you in contact with these big distributors, but we also put you in contact with the smaller resellers that are way more specific depending on your solution. Okay, so we have these two ways to proceed with this reseller network and partner ecosystem.
Yeah. I see. What's the typical quota of a Microsoft salesperson addressing mid to large enterprise accounts? That's depending on the size of the customer and also the contract in place. But in general, as a benchmark, we always want to grow faster than the market and gain market share. So if you would look at our earning calls and see that a year-over-year growth within our cloud space of 20-ish% is in line or even beyond Wall Street expectation, think about that plus a little extra on the sales side. The quota retirement part with this IP co-sell example, up to 30% of the deal size can make or break the year of an account manager. And they also have a quota on marketplace build sales. So once you get to this status of IP co-sell, it is beneficial from the marketplace revenue point of view, the quota retirement point of view, and that same applies to the side of the customer. And what I really like about the example of Laurent, where he shared within his journey that it is a marketplace first approach, because you're going to build something new as an extension on your current business model, but by making it a priority and focus on the marketplace as your preferred reseller channel or your sales channel, this will also help, of course, creating trust towards the account teams to collaborate on other accounts as well, because they know, hey, if we are going to do business together, they also prefer to do it in this model.
Okay, more questions?
I think that was the last one, at least which I can see within the chat.
Yeah. I'm checking now because I was not that familiar with there's a new one from Andy. I think it's for you, Niels, maybe.
If a salesperson has a quota of 20 million and 30% of a 200 is yeah, so but they have a quota on a customer level as well. So in the end, it sums up. So let's say I am an enterprise account executive covering the 10 biggest banks in the Netherlands for the FSI segment. Then I have a total sum of cloud consumption as an installed base, and but it's also a quota on a customer level. And I think there is one additional comment here to make. So you can either run it as a multi-tenant SaaS solution where it's running on your tenant, then it's more of a one-off as the quote from the quota retirement point of view, or you also see that your solution generates additional workloads on the customer side, and even can be a managed application on the customer side. But even in the example that you share of 30% of a 200K deal across a portfolio of customers can still be very beneficial, because the 30% is above the growth percentage thereafter on that customer as a benchmark number. I hope that answers the question a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
I see another one popping up. There's another one.
Okay,
what is the business case for WeTransact?
What do you mean, Peter, by the business case?
I think in relation to the business model, but it might be my assumption that the business case for WeTransact here.
Okay, our business model is we have a setup fee, and we help companies to succeed on the marketplace in 3 ways. First of all, we publish your solution as transactable in the marketplace. We provide you with this ecosystem, this platform to manage every single aspect, and we analyze your solution to help you craft the best strategy. And we have a setup fee, your commitment to help you grow in the marketplace. You can check our pricing models in the webpage, okay? And you have all the information there. We have different tiers depending on the needs that you have as a company. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and there's no, so I realize now that I forgot one comment earlier on the marketplace model is that you pay a 3% handling fee to Microsoft for the transactions you do via the marketplace. So everything that you transact there, we charge 3% for the handling because Microsoft is doing the full invoice process on that side. There are no additional costs within the collaboration with WeTransact on the Microsoft billing side. So that's only separate on the WeTransact side of what Ajay just described and told.
Yeah, it's 3% in new deals, and now I think it's 1.5% in renewals.
Yeah, so it's going to be updated to 1.5. Oh yeah, are there any enterprise partners known in EdTech who are looking to deploy a career alumni platform worldwide within the next few years? So the ISV program is interesting for us. Yeah, so I think we need to dive deeper into that one, Daniel, to learn a little bit more about the solution. We are a little bit different organized on the EdTech side compared to our commercial public sector or to our commercial business within corporate and enterprise. But yes, we definitely have partners that are covering the EdTech sector from a Microsoft point of view.
I think the questions aren't loading well for me. So if there's more questions for WeTransact, for Niels, or for Laurent. Niels, can you see more questions or not?
We
No, I
can
think
for
we,
sure follow up later on any comment that might we might feel more questions after this webinar for sure, hopefully. So
Yeah.
for any interest on WeTransact, Wellbeing.ai or Microsoft, absolutely feel free to reach out, of course.
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here. And yeah, you can contact us. You can contact Niels, Laurent, or me to address more questions. Okay.
Many thanks.
Yes, thank
Have a
you all
good
for
day.
joining. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.